You cannot bring in your vernacular experience, but the fellow who has influence, who has money, will be made to wait for an hour, maybe more. Who would want to give away the information would just smile. What a genuine person, what a gentleman. Hello, hi, namaste, and welcome to Vidhyaashram, the Temple of Excellence. Leave-taking language function. In today's session, I'm going to talk about two language functions clubbed together. The very first language function after leave-taking is request for repetition. Let's start with today's session. So how do you request somebody to repeat something what they have told? ಒಂದು ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ ಪದಗಳನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ನೀವು ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಬಾರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಸ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸುಪೀರಿಯರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು use, or which language function do you make use while asking somebody to repeat? Let us see that in today's session. Request for repetition. Let us see how people use language functions to repeat it. When we can't hear or understand what the other person says, we ask him or her to repeat. For example, the teacher in your class asks you to do something but you don't hear it properly. What would you do is the first exercise. It is a sort of an exercise. ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ ಮಾತನಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಪಿಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಓ ಟೀಚರ್ ಸಾಹೇಬ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂತೀರಾ, ಅಥವಾ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೋನ್? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಟೋನು ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು? ಶುಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿ ಪೊಲೈಟ್? ಶುಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿ ಕಮಾಂಡಿಂಗ್? ಶುಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿ ಆರ್ಡರಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಸಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್, ರೈಟ್? ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಕುಡ್ ಯು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್? ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಫೈನ್. ಐ ಬೆಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪಾರ್ಡನ್. Could you please repeat it? Is also fine. I beg your pardon is too good. It is formal language. How well do we use? Do we use formal or informal? Here is a dialogue. Here is a context, a situation. A quiz master is conducting an inter-college competition. A quiz master. So this QM is nothing but quiz master. Now, the question is, what is Mysuru famous for? Quizmaster keltane, Ranveer, I beg your pardon, sir. Quizmaster repeats the question. Ranveer, I'm sorry, what did you say, sir? Your voice is not audible. 2 times the quizmaster is repeating the same question. Now the question is, what is Mysuru famous for? Ranveer is not able to understand or not able to listen to what quizmaster told. I beg your pardon, sir. Quizmaster repeats the question. I'm sorry. Again he says, I'm sorry. What did you say, sir? Your voice is not audible. Quizmaster repeats the question. Were you able to hear now? He is confirming. He repeats it, and for the 3rd time he confirms, were you able to hear now? Ivaga kelista? ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು ನಿನಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? Maybe the quizmaster is on the stage and Ranveer is somewhere at the end of the room, somewhere in the corner. So maybe it's because of that he was not able to hear it. Once he confirms it, Ranveer, yes, thank you, sir. Mysuru is famous for palaces. Mysuru yadu famous? It's famous for palaces. The conversation. How well, I beg your pardon, sir. Because it is formal. Yo, ನೀನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋ. You can't use it. I'm just giving a reference. I'm creating an instance because we get to see this on a daily basis. Imagine you're talking to your father. Hey, ಹೋಗಪ್ಪ ನೀನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಕೇಳಿಸಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋ. Right? I'm talking to my dad, and when I am not able to hear his voice Ayo papa jorag matadi kelsta illa. Right? Informal. I know you're talking to somebody who's above all, but still we use informal language. You're talking to your friend over the phone and there is a disturbance. And how do you say, Macha, kelsala, jorang matado? Right? We use different context, different languages. That is the reason I tell you. You cannot bring in your vernacular experience with respect to English. Hey, Macha, kelsala, jorang matado? If you write the same words in your answer sheet, you will be given 0. Your answer is wrong. Absolutely wrong. So don't go and try this method of trying to translate from your vernacular language to English. I am sorry. What did you say, sir? For the second time. But just try to think over. I just already told you, ayo appa kelsala jorang matado. Even then, for the second time, if you're not able to listen, kittogera phone itkobiಡ್ತಾರೆ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, right? We speak in a funny way. It seems so funny when I'm doing this, but that is how you do it while you're talking to your dad, your friend, or whomsoever it might be. But can you use the same thing while writing in your examination? You cannot. Let us move on. So here is the common expression where we use formal and informal language expression. I beg your pardon. Formal, I beg your pardon. Could you please repeat what you told? Would you mind repeating because you were too fast, or maybe your voice was not audible enough? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ, right? May I ask you to repeat? Very polite. May I ask you to repeat? Please just repeat what you told. Informal way. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear you at all. Pardon? Pardon me? What did you say? Right? This seems very funny. When, let us say, you are being screwed badly, getting fired from somebody, right? And you cannot keep your mouth shut. ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ತುಂಬಾ ಬೈತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಇರಿಟೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್, ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಮಮ್. ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಮಾತಾಡದೆ ಇರೋಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಡು? ಗೊಣಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರ, ರೈಟ್? ಅಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು, ವಾಟ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಸೇ? ಹೇಳು ಹೇಳು ನೋಡೋಣ, ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡು, ರೈಟ್? ಸಾರಿ, ಐ ಕುಡಂಟ್ ಫಾಲೋ. ನೀನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಒಂದೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. What was that? What was that? The lowest level of language function you can ever use, because it seems so rude. When a superior is talking to his subordinates, maybe when he is too angry, he would use this. What was that? Tell me, how dare you raise your tone? Right? It depends on the context. So depending on the context, situation, according to the situation, we will make use of the language function. Language function, ನಾನು ಹಲವಾರು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ವಂಡರಿಂಗ್, ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತಪ್ಪ? ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಜುಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಟು ಅರ್ನ್ ಸಮ್ ಮನಿ. ನೀವು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಗೋ ಟು ಸುಪೀರಿಯರ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಹೌ ಟು ಬಿ ಪೊಲೈಟ್. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೊಡಿ, ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಿ. ದ ಟೋನ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಐ ವಾಕ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ದ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಡೆಸ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಅನ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಗೋ ಟು ದಟ್ ಲೇಡಿ ಆರ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ, ಕೊಡಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನನಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡು, ನಾನು ಫಿಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಆರ್ ಹರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೋನ್, he would make you wait for an hour. Sir, application ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. He will be very polite for that matter. He can be very polite, I'm telling you. We get to see in daily occurrences. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಪಾಠ ಕಲಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to make you wait for an hour. Sir, application ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. We are running short of applications and we have run out of applications. Would you mind waiting for an hour? You will have to wait. Go to him. If you want to get things done, be polite. That is the main intention. That is called language function. Right? You go to the person and you ask him, would you just mind giving me an application? I've come here for an interview or maybe for something. I have met plenty of people in my life. I have met both being rude. I have met on the other side who are very clever, very genius. They just go and muscafy people. It's called buttering in English. Like, so they are so polished the way they go and introduce themselves. Their appearance is so good, like even though they don't have any influence, they don't have money, maybe both. They don't have either of it. But still, the language they use, sir, namaste. Very politely, polished way, they speak and they get things done. But the fellow who has influence, who has money, will be made to wait for an hour, maybe more. Who knows? So that is the language function. I'm not asking you to be the person who always uses the language in a polished way and things get done. I'm not asking you to be that way. But the world is such that even though you are scolding that person within yourself, you are scolding. But from your outer side, you put up a smile on your face, you go and ask, you request. Yes, you're flaunting with her or him. You get things done. And it works. And that's how the world is. Or maybe you can even be better. Who knows? I'm not asking you to be in a negatively better, maybe the positively better. When you literally go and ask, request, be genuine, be true. Let's move on. Now here is the expression. What would you say in each of these situations? Situations today, what would you do? You can't hear the other person. We can make use of the same thing. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Right? You want him or her to repeat something. Would you mind repeating? We can use the same thing. Would you mind repeating? Question mark. He or she is speaking too fast. Just use the same thing. May I ask you to repeat? May I ask you to repeat? Or you can use different answers as well. You want him or her to repeat something. Would you please repeat? Would you mind repeating? Would you please repeat? Could you just repeat once again, please? He or she, or he or she or he, whoever it might be, is speaking too fast. You're not able to catch up even a single word that a person is speaking here. So what do? Could you just speak slow? Or could you just go slow? Or could you just repeat what you told before? You can make use of multiple language expressions. So that's it about asking for repetition. And as I told you before, I have clubbed 2 language functions in one session. Let us move on to asking for information now. This language function is a separate unit in your workbook, but I have clubbed it together. I would like some information, please. How would you ask a person? Imagine ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನಿಮಗೆ information ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕು. As I told you before, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ information ಬೇಕು. ಓಯ್ ಹೇಳೋ information. ನಾನು ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಏನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಾ ನೀನು? If you use this tone, possibly or probably a person who would lend out your information would give you a wrong information. There are possibilities. But being polite, I would like some information, please. How good does it sound? It sounds so good, so soothing, right? The person or the fellow who would want to give away the information would just smile. What a genuine person, what a gentleman, right? It gives an impression, it gives an image. The language function, the language you use will be a sort of a mirror to your personality. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಭಾಷೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಕನ್ನಡಿಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So how well you reflect on others. When you ask for information about a course, time of a train, a bus, etc., you can see people using the following expressions. What are the expressions? Now, here are some expressions they have given to ask for information. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening. They can use any of this depending on the time. I would like some information about spoken English course, or maybe could you give me some information about spoken English course, or I would like some information about trains to Delhi tomorrow. I would like to get some information about your package tours on Sunday, or could you give me some information about your package tours on Sunday? You can use multiple language functions. Yes, certainly from the opposite side. It's not just that you always go and ask for information. You could be on the other end who is going to give away the information. Yes, certainly. What sort of course are you interested in? You have to be equally polite when somebody comes and asks you for the information. So would you mind telling me, or would you mind guiding me for this address? Hey, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಗ No. Sorry sir, ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ. Right? Sir, ಈ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ಗೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಗೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? Right? We get to see this. Hey, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಲು. Then he would feel, you now lose ನನ್ನ ಮಗ. Right? Because the conversation puts up a brand to yourself. So you have to be in the position where you have to be very gentle. It is a must. What sort of course are you interested in? At what time? Which tour are you interested in? A beginner's course at about 10 o'clock, the one to Kanyakumari, right? The way they give away the information. So practice, work in pairs. This is not possible now because I'm standing in front of the camera and delivering all which is possible. You are sitting at home and watching the YouTube channels. You cannot work in pairs. Wish we were in class and this would happen very easily. Take it in turns to ask for information using the situations and information given below. Person B starts every time with good morning, good afternoon. Then he or she gives the name of the school, place, etc. This would have happened if we were in college today. But unfortunately, we are stuck in the pandemic and this is not going to happen. Let us see when it is going to happen and when it is possible. You want some information about English course. So again, I told you, so this is not going to happen with online classes. This would happen, or this is only possible when we meet and when we are in college. Let us move on. So this is all about the course. Remember one thing, WH questions can be used to ask for more information. So WH, so what are the WH questions? Who, when, where, what, right? WH, or whom, even who, whom. So these are WH questions. We can seek information, right? Using WH questions, we can ask for more information. What did you do? Even how is also WH. What did you do over the weekend? ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ weekend ಅಲ್ಲಿ, right? How was your trip? When did you get back? Who did you go with? How many people were there? Whose car, even whose, is also WH. Whose car did you drive? We are asking for more information. But along with asking the question, it depends on how well we make use of language functions. Next one, and also when asking for details about a particular item you are considering buying, you can say, could you give me some information about this computer? Question mark. You want to buy a computer and you can use language function. Can you give me more details about the CD player? Could you tell me how this vacuum cleaner works? Imagine you're in a multiplex, right, in a mall, and you are in the electronic section. You want to buy some CD or computer or vacuum or mobile or any other electronic gadget, and you have minimum or minimal information about the electronic gadgets, and there will be a customer care officer. You could call him up and ask him using such language expressions. Could you just give me more information about this electronic gadgets? Let us imagine using fitness watch. It's not just most of the people use it these days, but it is a trend. People are getting used to fitness watches. You are in electronic session and you want to buy that electronic gadget. You could ask him, could you just explain more about this watch, fitness watch? And he would be very happy to explain it. Next one, activity. In your workbook, these are the activities which are given. I have selected the same activity and I am solving it. Your father meets your principal along with you. Wish all the father comes to college and visits principal to meet and inquire about his or her child's progress. He introduces himself and inquires about your academic progress. The principal gives the information and congratulates you. I wish all of you perform so well, where principal could congratulates you on your good performance. Then you take leave. Work in pairs. Again, working in pairs will not happen, and create a conversation based on the situation. So I'm not going to work in pairs. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to work it, and you are just going to work out by yourself. Do it yourself. Try to pick up different situation. Maybe in your workbook, you don't have to write the same situation. You can just take up different context, different situation, and you can fill in the blanks. So let us start doing it. Father or principal. Let us start with principal. I will just write the abbreviation. Principal. Good morning, sir. Right, good morning. It can also be vice versa. Your father can go and greet the principal rather than principal coming and greeting you. Either way, it's fine. Good morning, sir. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. How may I help you? Right? How may I help you? There are instances where principals will be so polite. They want to take care of the children. They want to take care of parents. They want to take care of everybody. Right? So such principals will, of course, they would just be pleased, more than happy, more than pleased to greet and inquire about other people. Yes, father. So the father is going to say, good morning, sir. I'm just writing the abbreviation. Good morning, sir. Nice to see you too. See you too. I'm here to inquire about my son's, S-O-N apostrophe S, my son's experience or performance, academic performance. Right? So the principal would be very pleased. I'm very delighted or pleased or happy or glad. I'm very glad to say that your son has performed well, performed outstanding performance, performed well, performed great, any other language functions. I hope you have met the subject and language teacher, subject and language, or you can simply write I hope you have met the language, or I hope you have met the class teachers. Right? So father would say, of course, I have met them and I've come here. Yes. Or since you have already written, I am here to inquire, maybe you can say no. Right? No. I'm going to meet them now. So principal would say, please carry on. And meet them first. Right? And your father would say, nice meeting you, sir. Right? Because you have to take leave. Then you take leave. So you're going to take leave. Nice meeting you, sir. Or ma'am, nice meeting you, ma'am or sir. See you the next time. Or see you after a couple of months, or let us meet in the next parents teachers meeting or teachers parents meeting, right? So principal would say, same here. See you, sir. Take care. Oh, bye. Whichever is fine, you can write. But remember, there should be a flow when you write. The moment you start the conversation, the moment you end the conversation, there should be always link between the previous one and the following one. If there is no link, then of course, you're going to lose a mark. In language, if you ask me, is it possible to score 100 out of 100, sir? It is highly impossible, I would say. 99, 100, yes, there are people who tend to get 100 out of 100, but even if we take up the papers and if we go through it thoroughly, of course, they would just, they might have made a mistake. It could be a punctuation mark. And let me tell you, language is not a paper where you can score 100 out of 100. But you can score 99 for sure. It is guaranteed. So let us not give the chance to the evaluator to lose a mark. And who knows, you might be blessed enough, as per the instructions by the head examiner, you may get 100 out of 100 and you can be one amongst them. So I wish all my students to be the lucky charms and try to score 100 out of 100. And that is the reason I just give you the detailed, minute particles about this errors you commit while answering in your examination. So that's it for today's session. I'm going to meet you in my next session. Until then, keep practicing. See you. Have a good day. Take care.